Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'll do calculus and I got this question paper from one of the previous papers. So I'll do calculus, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. So let's not waste time, okay? So number one, it says determine from, remember this shows us that we'll derive but in another way. So there's a formula that we are going to use, okay? From first principle, from first principle, if it is given that f at x is equals to 2x squared minus 3x. So I'll give you a tip. Before you answer this question, on your side or maybe on your scribble, derive this function, okay? Derive it. So when we derive it, we know that we'll say 2 multiplied by 2, it's 4. 2 minus 1, it's 1. So here we'll just have x. So here, remember, it's the same as 1. So negative 3 multiplied by 1, it's negative 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Any number to the exponent 0, it's 1. So we'll leave it like this. So at the end we should get this, okay? But don't do this on your answer sheet. Do this on your scribbler, this part, okay? So now there's a formula that we are going to use. We are going to use this formula. Here it should be lim, you see. So but I hope you know this formula. So where I see x, I'll substitute x plus h, okay? So the first step, now I'll have to say this question carry 5 marks, okay? So you should collect the whole 5 marks, okay? So follow. So we don't change anything here. Don't forget this, like I did, but I wrote it here. So yeah, so like I said, where I see x, I'll write x plus h. So here it will be x plus h square minus, remember this is our original one, this is what we should get, okay? So don't be confused. So here I'll have 3x plus h minus my f at x. So I'll put my f at x inside the bracket to avoid wrong signs, okay? So every time when you substitute, put it in the bracket. My tutors know this, so you should also know. We can work on WhatsApp, okay? So like I always say on my videos that I do lessons on WhatsApp, I'm based in Northwest, but if you're far, maybe you're at Cape Town or Gauteng or any other province, we can work on WhatsApp. So here I have 2x squared minus 3x all over h. Okay, so the next step, I'll have to break this bracket. I'll have to break the bracket. So now I will say, remember, I don't change this. So here, when we break this down, we'll realize if I break this bracket, I'll be left with x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, okay? So after that step, when I break it, I will say 2 multiplied by x squared, which will give me 2x squared. Then 2 multiplied by 2hx, which will be 4hx. Then I will say 2 multiplied by h squared, which is 2h squared, okay? So, and if I break this bracket, I'll have negative 3h and negative 3x and negative 3h. And if I break this bracket, I'll have negative 2x squared. Negative and negative is positive. So here I'll have positive 3x all over h. Okay, now I will look at my numerator and look for the like terms. Okay, so the next step now, I will have to say, okay, if I look at my numerator, I can see I have two like terms. Okay, so 2 minus 2 is 0, which means they will cancel each other. Okay, and this one doesn't have a twin in our numerator, and this one doesn't have a twin in our numerator, but negative 3 and this, they are twins. So negative 3 plus 3 is 0, which means they will cancel each other. You see, now we will have 4hx plus 2h squared all over h. You see, now when we get to this step, we can see on our numerator now we have a common factor. So when we have a common factor now, I will say lim h o. Now our common factor here is h, so I'll take h as my common factor. So here I'll remain with 4x plus, here remember I have two h's. Should I say h's? Yeah, so I have, which means here I'll remain with 2h only. Okay, so when you get to this step, no, I forgot this other h. Sorry, I wasn't aware. I forgot this other h, and I see like something is missing. Okay, so, and remember here it's 2h squared. What? No. Okay, here it's squared, but here it is not squared, which means when I have h here, which means here I will have only 3. Okay, so yes, this h will cancel this h, and here I'll remain with, let's see, I'll remain with lim, then I will write what I remain with, but I will substitute 0 where I see h. Now here it's minus. Yes, so any number multiplied by 0 is 0, so which means my final answer will be 4x minus 3. You see, so this is our final answer. So this is how we should do it. And you can see at the beginning I told you that when you derive it, it should give you this. So make sure you don't make mistakes and recheck a calculation if it doesn't give you what it should give you. Okay, so in this case you'll take 5 free marks. Okay, so number 2, let's check number 2. On number 2 it says determined. It's also derive. Okay, so they will give you in this form, and e for y is equals to 4x to the exponent, let me see, to the exponent 5 minus 6x to the exponent 4 plus 3x. So this one is 3 marks. Okay, so when you answer this question, don't forget to include this. So you'll say dy over dx is equals to, Then when I derive, remember I will say 5 multiplied by 4, which is 20. 5 minus 1, which is 4. Minus 4 multiplied by 6, it's 24. 4 minus 1, it's 3. And for this, it will be 3 only. So I hope you guys get it. So it's only 3 marks. So if it's 3 marks, you'll get this mark for this part, for this part, and for this part. Remember here it's negative, so this negative also count. So if here you wrote positive, which means you'll only get 2 marks for this 2. Okay, so make sure even your signs are correct. Okay, so but that one was simple. Let's go to the next one, which is 4 marks. The next one is 4 marks. So yeah, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. Okay, so even on this one we should derive. Okay, this is question 9 from one of the previous papers. Okay, so now here we are given it in this form. Then we are given a big bracket and cube root over 2 plus we have a bracket and we have a fraction inside, which is over 3x. We close the bracket, it's 2, and we close the big bracket. So remember, these 2 only affect this bracket, but if this 2 was here, it was going to affect everything that is inside the bracket. Okay, so first step now, we'll have to say, okay, our dx, now we write our bracket, so we'll break this. Okay, so when we break this, we'll remain with negative x to the exponent 1 over 3 because of this cube root. Okay, now we'll say over 2 plus, like I said, these 2 affect this bracket only. Okay, so here I'll remain, okay, 1 to the exponent 2, it's 1. 3 to the exponent 2, it's 9 x square. Okay, now we'll have this, I hope you all understand. If you don't understand, comment below. Okay, so now let's continue. But here I have my x in our numerator and here I have my x in denominator, so I think things will be easier if I had these 2 in the same numerator. Okay, now I'll have to take this to our numerator, so we don't forget our dx. Now we'll have negative x here, and now I take this to the top. Now when I take it to the top, my exponent will change, so now I'll have x to the exponent negative 2 because now it's on the numerator, it's from denominator. Okay, now my next step, make sure you don't do any single mistake when you do this question, and make sure you follow, and yeah. So the next step now, I'm happy because I have this x is in my numerator, so I'll write it in the simplest form and say, okay, let me remember here I have negative, so let me write this part as this, since then I have my positive exponent, and this side I'll have to say, okay, remember I have a negative exponent, so I'm not changing it, so we'll have something like this. Okay, so after that step, now remember I'm going step by step. Okay, I'm going step by step, and you will get some marks on some steps. Okay, especially when you change it and break it down and something like that. You get me? So after this step, now I will say, okay, I can derive it. Okay, now I will say, okay, negative half multiplied by 1 over 3, it's how much? It's negative 1 over 6. So I'll have negative 1 over 6. Now here I'll have, remember I have my x. When I derive for our exponent now, I'll have to subtract it by 1. So I will have 1 over 3 minus 1, which is negative 2 over 3. Okay, so don't be surprised when you get an exponent that is negative, because I know some students, they will think they are wrong and be like, why negative? You're correct. Go step by step. Okay, so what I did here, I'll do it here. Remember, here we have addition, so here it's addition. So but now this will affect this addition, because a negative multiplied by positive is negative, which means here we'll have a negative. Okay, now I will say, because I will have to say 1 over 9 multiplied by negative 2, because our exponent is negative, which is negative 2 over 9 x. So, and for my exponent, I will say negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 3. Then I don't forget my brackets. You feel me? So, for the next one now, I'll say, okay, I can't leave my answer like this. So, remember, if it was positive value here, my x was going to be on our numerator. Now it will be on our denominator. So which means here now I can remove my bracket. I can say, okay, now I will have negative 1 over 6x to the exponent 2 over 3. You can see now my exponent here, it is positive, and here, like I said, it's minus now, and here I have negative 3, which means even this one, it will be on our denominator. Okay, but here I have 2. Okay, so I'll say 2 over 9x to the exponent 3. So that's how you should do it. So it's 4 marks. After that, you get your 12 marks. So it is not that difficult, just that you should be careful when you substitute. And thank you for watching till this far. Please share this video with your friend, family, and other learners or students you think like they are struggling with calculus. And yeah, I actually do lessons, like I always say, and check my description below. Have a nice day. Thank you.